Hello, entrepreneurs, and welcome. Thrilled to have you here for today's workshop. Today, we're going to be talking about how to achieve both growth and freedom, all while you stay in your visionary zone of genius. Now, we've been helping our clients take Fridays off since 2008, and the results are so reliable that we've affectionately dubbed it the Friday Effect. It's actually so important. It's one of our first priorities when we start working with a new client. Those clients enjoy shorter work weeks, more time in their visionary zone of genius, and a team that really drives delivery and operations so that everyone benefits: the clients, the team, and you. So today we're going to talk about how to achieve that. And we're going to talk about 3 relatively simple steps in terms of setting boundaries, mastering delegation, and planning creative activities. And those are going to be the key to help you achieve the Friday effect. And if you want to download the playbook that we're going to go through in this training, you'll find a link below this video that'll help you access that. Many entrepreneurs end up constantly working more in an effort to knock out that last project or that last group of tasks that's finally going to allow them to phase themselves out of operations. And sadly, all too often that never comes. Many entrepreneurs that we meet are working upwards of 60 hours per week. And when we get to know them a little bit better, they tell us stories of health problems, of addictions, of relationship issues that they're dealing with, all these things that affect our quality of life. And we know as humans that when we're stressed, when we're tired, overwhelmed, we make terrible decisions, which just makes the Friday effect that much more important to what we're doing, not just at work, but in the rest of our lives as well. So the Friday effect is all about taking actions that can create more space. Big ideas, innovations need space and time to germinate, to take shape. And that doesn't happen when you're grinding through a task list or you're cramming in a few bites of sandwich before you head into the next meeting because you don't have time to have a proper lunch. So let's dig in. Let's start with setting boundaries, and we'll go forward from there. Setting boundaries is key to making the Friday effect work because it protects time for rest, for creativity, for thinking that might otherwise be overwhelmed by normal work demands, right? So without clear boundaries, taking Fridays off can easily not happen. It can be disturbed by interruptions, ongoing tasks, and often the internal pressure we feel to always be available. So I want to walk through this worksheet with you. I think there's 3 really important things you can do to set boundaries to protect your personal time and energy. And the first one, naturally, is around managing your own energy. You have to identify what gives you energy, what takes your energy, how you can maximize the givers, minimize the takers, and make sure that you are using your energy efficiently. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So how can you get my pen? What gives you energy? What takes energy? And then along those lines, you'll notice there's a sample weekly calendar there about theming your days. And I think if you'll give it a try, you will be amazed at how much time and energy you can recover just by really theming and staying in the same zone and not context switching all the time. So next, let's talk about insisting on solutions. You solving problems for everybody in the business is exhausting, and it saps your energy and your motivation, and it can be overwhelming. So it's time to insist that your team brings solutions, not just problems. And I like to suggest, if you're familiar with basketball zone defenses, that you use a 1-3-1 methodology. And it's not original, but I don't know who came up with it. So if you know, please drop it in the comments. But for every one problem that your team brings to you, ask them to come up with 3 potential solutions, and you'll help them settle on the best solution from there. So we're going to use a 1-3-1 on insisting on solutions. That's an agreement you need to make with your team. And then finally, let's talk about giving ownership, very related to insisting on solutions. The most important thing here that you can do is define the outcome that you expect and describe how you're going to measure success. And once you do that, you're going to be amazed at how much better your team can work because they know exactly what they're shooting for. And then the message is that you own this. You determine the how. I've given you the goal, the outcome, but I trust you to make decisions about the how. So you can see how you can start to take yourself out of the middle of delivery and problem solving and troubleshooting just by insisting on and setting boundaries around your time. Now let's talk about the art and science of delegation, and the ownership that we just talked about is a great segue to move into delegation mastery. The first thing that you can do is work together with your team to identify tasks that can be delegated to your team. So they're going to know some things that you can do, and they're going to know what things they can do. And by you guys working together to come to an agreement around those things, I think you're going to feel better. And back to the previous point, as long as you're defining what ownership looks like, what the desired outcome looks like, you're going to be in good shape, which is our next point, right? What is the desired outcome? Who owns it? And how will it be measured, right? So being able to communicate those things up front and then having a strong reporting dashboard or reporting methodology on the back end so you know how and if and when things are completed is really important. It's not your job to go to your team and ask and follow up. It's their job to follow up with you. And that leads me nicely into be a mentor, not a manager, right? So we talked a little bit about this, but your job is not to tell people how to do it. Your job is to define success and let them figure out the how, and you serve as a resource to them. That's simple. Oh, my spelling's bad, but that's simply the best way to approach delegation and make sure that your team is accomplishing what's needed as you move out of delivery, out of operations. And finally, let's cover how we can harness creative activities to achieve your goals and objectives. Taking time to relax and engage in creative activities like drawing or listening to music. For me, it's going for a walk or going for a drive or kind of lingering over my morning coffee. Those are the things that we do that don't require us to be actively mentally engaged, that somehow magically clear our mind and inspire fresh ideas. So, planning those activities can help you unwind, but it also sparks creativity and it leads to some amazing new ideas. So, in an effort to not get derailed on my Fridays, I use this worksheet that you see in front of you, and I'll just jot down, let me get my pencil, jot down some ideas for the different creative ideas or relaxing activities that I have planned for that particular day. But more importantly, perhaps, are the goals and intentions that I want to solve. So, what are the things that I need to spend some deep thinking time around? Having those front and center, not as a task list, rather, but as an intention or as an inspiration, is what you want. Remember, hustle and grind isn't how we solve big problems or create solutions. It's how we push work forward. That's the team's job. Your job is to innovate. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you'd like some extra help with any of this, a copy of the recording, bonuses, and the Friday Effect Playbook that we walked through in today's training, just click the link below and we'll send those to you right away. See you next time.